Imagine opening your business one morning just like any other day. Orders are coming in, emails are being answered, employees are working, and everything seems completely normal. But somewhere in the background, something has already gone wrong. A single email, a small click, a tiny mistake that nobody noticed. Within hours, someone outside your company now has access to your systems, your customer data, and your business operations. And the worst part is, most small businesses don't even realize what's happening until the damage has already begun. In this video, we're going to walk through the exact timeline of how a small business gets hacked in a single day, step by step, and why it happens to companies that thought it could never happen to them. It's a normal weekday morning for a small business. The office opens, computers turn on, and employees begin their routine. Emails are checked, customer orders start coming in, and the day moves forward just like any other. For most small businesses, mornings are busy. There are invoices to send, customer messages to reply to, and systems that need to stay running smoothly. Everyone is focused on work, deadlines, and keeping the business moving. Nothing seems unusual. The network is working, the payment system is active, and employees are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. From the outside, everything looks completely normal. But in many cyber attacks, the first stage doesn't look dangerous at all. It hides inside ordinary business activity, inside emails, files, or links that appear to be part of a regular workday. And that's exactly why these attacks are so effective. Because when everything looks normal, no one is looking for a threat. Late in the morning, an email arrives in the company inbox. At first glance, it doesn't look unusual at all. The subject line mentions an invoice update, and the sender name looks familiar, like a supplier or a business partner the company has worked with before. For busy employees handling dozens of emails every day, this kind of message feels routine. It's opened without much thought. The email explains that an updated invoice or document needs to be reviewed, and there's a simple link or attachment included. Everything about it appears normal: the language, the format, even the company logo inside the message. But this is exactly how many cyber attacks begin. Attackers carefully design these emails to look legitimate so that employees don't question them. In a busy office environment, no one has time to analyze every email closely. So the message sits there for a moment, waiting for someone to click. Eventually, someone clicks the link. Not because they're careless, but because the email looked legitimate and the request seemed routine. In a busy workday, opening attachments and checking documents is part of the job. The file opens normally, or the page loads without any obvious warning. Nothing crashes, no alarms appear. The employee finishes checking the document and continues working, completely unaware that anything unusual just happened. But in the background, something else has already started. The link or file quietly installs a hidden program or captures login credentials that were entered on the page. From that moment on, attackers may have access to the system, and because everything still looks normal, the business keeps running exactly as it did before. Emails continue, orders are processed, and employees move on with their work. The small click that seemed harmless has already opened the door. Once attackers gain access, they rarely act immediately. In many cases, they stay quiet and observe the system first. They explore internal files, check employee accounts, and look for valuable information such as customer data, payment systems, or administrative access. This stage is often called the silent phase of an attack. From the outside, everything still appears normal. Employees continue working, emails are sent, and business operations continue without interruption. But behind the scenes, the attackers are learning how the business works. They identify which systems control payments, which accounts have higher privileges, and where sensitive data is stored. The longer they remain unnoticed, the more control they gain. But the time anyone realizes something is wrong, the attackers may already have access to multiple systems across the company network. Once attackers understand the system, the next stage usually begins quietly: data extraction. This is when valuable information starts leaving the business without anyone noticing. Customer records, email conversations, payment details, internal documents, all of this information can be copied or downloaded in the background while employees continue working normally. Because these transfers often happen slowly and carefully, they don't immediately trigger alarms. To the business, the network traffic looks ordinary. Systems continue running, and employees remain unaware that sensitive data may already be outside the company. By the time unusual activity is detected, attackers may already have collected enough information to cause serious damage. And at that point, the problem is no longer just about system access, it's about the security of the business itself. By the afternoon, small signs begin to appear that something isn't right. At first, they seem minor. A system responds slower than usual. An employee can't log into an account. A payment platform suddenly shows an error message. In most small businesses, these issues are treated like normal technical problems. Someone restarts the computer, passwords are reset, the team assumes it's just a temporary system glitch. But in many cyber attacks, these small disruptions are the first visible symptoms of a much larger problem happening behind the scenes. Attackers may already be using the system, changing settings, or moving deeper into the network. The danger is that by the time these warning signs appear, the attack is no longer at the beginning. It has already been unfolding for hours, sometimes longer, while the business continued operating as if everything was normal. Eventually, the situation becomes impossible to ignore. Employees begin noticing multiple problems at the same time. Accounts stop working, files can't be opened, systems that normally run smoothly suddenly become unstable. In some cases, a message appears on the screen demanding payment to restore access. In others, customers start calling to report suspicious activity linked to their accounts. That's when the business finally realizes this isn't a technical glitch, it's a cyber attack. The office atmosphere changes quickly. Work stops, phones start ringing, and employees try to understand what went wrong. Questions begin to spread across the company. How did this happen? What information was exposed? Can the systems be recovered? By this point, the attack that began with a single email and one small click has already reached the entire business. And the focus is no longer on prevention, it's on damage control. The truth is, most small businesses that get hacked didn't think it would ever happen to them. The attack didn't begin with advanced technology or complicated hacking techniques. It started with something simple: a normal email during a busy workday. Cyber attacks rarely look dramatic in the beginning. They hide inside ordinary tasks that employees perform every day, and by the time the problem becomes visible, the attacker may already have access to important systems or data. This is why awareness and preparation matter so much. Small businesses don't need massive security teams to reduce risk, but they do need to understand how these attacks actually happen. Because the biggest lesson from stories like this is simple. Most cyber attacks succeed not because hackers are unstoppable, but because small mistakes open the door.